The city holds its breath under a blanket of midnight rain. Thunder cracks open the sky, and in a narrow, forgotten alley, a schoolgirl hurries home. The wind howls like a hungry wolf, carrying with it another sound. Footsteps. Not hers. Someone is following. She quickens her pace, her own heartbeat thundering in her ears. She dares a whisper into the suffocating darkness. Who's there? The only answer is the glint of steel in a sudden flash of lightning, a choked scream, and then silence! The next morning, the alley is a stage of blue and red, flashing lights. I'm Maroon, a detective. But tonight, I feel more like a witness to something ancient and evil. The official report will call it a tragedy. But looking at the scene, the chilling precision of it all, I know better. They say horror is just fiction, something to scare you from the comfort of your couch. But I saw real evil that night, and it was just getting started. It was hunting again. Back at the station, the air is thick with frustration. My senior officer, a man whose patience has been worn thin by years of seeing the worst of humanity, slams a case file onto my desk. Another girl, Arun, same gruesome marks. This is on you now. Don't fail! His voice is a low growl, but beneath it, I hear fear. Evil doesn't send a warning. It doesn't knock. It seeps through the cracks of our world. I'll find it! I promise! My voice grim. The crime scene photos are a mosaic of nightmares. Strange. Almost ceremonial marks on the victim's neck. A grotesque, smiling face drawn on the wall in something dark and viscous. And the letters. Cryptic, taunting messages left behind. I turn to my colleague, the images burning into my mind. This isn't just murder, I say, the realization dawning on me. It's a ritual. He's not just killing them, he's playing a game with our fear. The hunt begins in the cold, sterile glow of a computer monitor. Shadows move in ways they shouldn't. In the audio from a dark corridor, I can just make out the sound of slow, deliberate breathing. It's him. He's always there, just out of frame. The feeling of being watched becomes a constant companion. A creak in the floorboards behind me makes me spin around, my heart pounding in my chest. Nothing. Just an empty room. He's here, I whisper to the silence. I can feel him watching me. I dive into the letters he leaves. Each one a carefully constructed piece of his twisted puzzle. They're filled with riddles, literary allusions, and terrifying hints about who's next. He's not just choosing victims, he's curating an audience. He wants us to watch. He wants us to feel the terror build. I trace the patterns, connecting the dots between the victims, the locations, the dates. Every clue, every single scare tactic, it's all designed for one purpose. He wants to see the fear in their eyes before he strikes. He feeds on it. To understand the monster, I have to understand what created him. I find myself in a dimly lit psychologist's office, the rain outside a mournful drumbeat against the window. The psychologist, a woman who has stared into the abyss of the human mind more times than I can count, looks uneasy. What you're describing, she says, her voice low, is a classic case of a trauma-driven psychopath. The ritual, the obsession with perfection, it points to a profound loss. She pulls up an old case file. He lost a child, a daughter, drowned in an accident. The screen shows a grainy, old home video. A man holding a little girl. Then, a flashback, sharp and brutal. The man is kneeling over his daughter's lifeless body, whispering words that curdled my blood. "You were imperfect," he says, his voice a broken hiss. But the next one will be perfect. A shudder runs through me. Each girl he targets is a replacement. A twisted, horrifying attempt to resurrect what he lost, remade in an image of impossible perfection. Armed with this terrifying knowledge, I identify the next potential victim. I know his pattern. I know what he looks for. As midnight approaches, I'm hidden in the shadows across the street from her house, my breath held tight in my chest. The rain is a steady downpour, masking any sound. Then, I see him. A shadow detaching itself from other shadows, moving across the lawn with an unnatural silence. He's like a wraith, a nightmare given form. Perfection. I hear him hiss into the wind, the sound barely audible but filled with a chilling glee. It comes tonight. I move in, silent as a cat, closing the distance. But he's not just a man. He's an animal. He senses me. The porch light flickers, and in that split second of darkness, he's gone. Vanished. The silence that follows is deafening, broken only by the frantic pounding of my own heart. Got you! I whisper, my hand on my weapon. And then, he attacks not from the front, but from the darkness beside me. I barely manage to dodge the strike. The next few moments are a chaotic blur, a desperate chase through rain-soaked alleys. Our frantic footsteps splashing through puddles. The distant sound of screams echoing off the wet brick walls as a bolt of lightning illuminates our desperate struggle. The chase leads me to the heart of his madness. An abandoned warehouse on the edge of the city. The air is cold and smells of rust and decay. Bloodstains mar the concrete floor, and everywhere, scattered like fallen soldiers, are creepy porcelain dolls with vacant eyes. He's waiting for me in the center of the room. He's not hiding anymore. Fear, he says, his voice eerily calm. It's the purest emotion. It is perfection. Don't you see? He lunges. The fight is brutal, primal. Every punch, every desperate block, every glint of his knife is a new spike of adrenaline. The camera of my mind shakes, capturing the chaos in quick, terrifying cuts. In the corner of my eye, I see Hurt, the girl he was after, tied to a chair, a gag over her mouth. He's moving towards her. Stop! I yell, my voice raw. This ends tonight. He just smirks. That same horrifying smile he draws on the walls and melts back into the deepest shadows of the warehouse. I stand, listening, trying to pinpoint his location, and then I hear it. Breathing. Soft, steady, and getting closer. Right behind me. Our final battle takes place on the rooftop, with the storm-swept city sprawled out below us. The wind howls, trying to tear us from the edge. Perfection is an eternal hunt. He screams over the gale. No one can stop me, but I've anticipated this. I've learned his game, his patterns, his arrogance. As he lunges for a final killing blow, I trigger the trap. A weighted net drops from above, entangling him. He screams, a sound of pure, animalistic rage, thrashing against the ropes, but I hold firm. The net tightens! His screams turn to choked gurgles. He's defeated. Panting, I stand over him, the rain washing the city clean. Horror isn't just in stories we tell around a campfire. It walks among us! It waits in the shadows for the right moment to step into the light. But tonight, I proved something to myself. Even monsters can fall. But as I look out over the city, a sense of unease settles over me. The rain drips from the rooftops like slow, ticking clocks. The killer is caught, but the feeling he created, it lingers. And from a distant rooftop, unseen by me, another shadowy figure watches. A faint, knowing smile forms on its lips. Because some things can't be locked away. Fear. Fear never really dies.